Dunphy Park. 1, 2, 3, hurrah! This is a really exciting day, and I have to say, a beautiful day with a great breeze, a nice cool breeze, and clean air to breathe. So we thank our whole Southern Marin and other firefighting community for this great day. So there is a lot of history here where we are standing. Long ago, the coastal Miwok were settled here. After that, we had a railroad going back and forth from Mill Valley to Sausalito, carrying people and goods. And after that, in the 1930s, the citizens of Sausalito decided to create a burn dump on this land. And then luckily, in the 1970s, this area was dedicated to be a park. And it's become really a center and a focal point for Sausalito. And it's just so lucky that after all that history, that this has become a beautiful park. I'm really excited today to be here to celebrate something positive. As all of you know, 2020 has been a really challenging year with a lot of hard news, a lot of hard work, and a lot of hard knocks. So today, this is just something that is so wonderful that we can come together as a community and celebrate years of planning and work at Dunphy Park. And so today, this is kind of the official welcome to our community to come down and enjoy the park. We can't all do it together in a huge crowd as we would love to do on 4th of July, but everyone can come down with their families, their four-legged friends, and find a space to socially distance and enjoy all of the great new things that the park has. So we have an accessible walking path, we have beautiful seating along the shoreline, we've kept the gazebo, we have a volleyball court soon to come, picnic tables soon to come, gorgeous turf, and wonderful and diverse array of trees. So we're really excited with all the visible results of the park, but also what you can't see is a whole bunch of new improvements like underground drainage, irrigation, and enhanced sanitary for the cruising club and the marina. So we're really excited about that as well. The other thing I wanted to say, a lot of people in town have been asking, why did this take so long? And I have to tell you, it is not because our city does not know how to do a project. For all of those who were at our city council meeting last Tuesday, the complexity and the depth of this project were very carefully explained by Lauren and others. And this project both had physical challenges. We are along a shoreline. We have the drainage issues that I mentioned. And then we also have the historic issues that I started off with, a railroad going through here, a dump with dangerous chemicals. So all of that had to be dealt with along with really challenging regulatory approvals and long conversations with our Native American partners and all of that. So we're really excited. It was a complex project and our staff really stood up and met that task. And we have lots of folks to thank. So I'm going to turn it over to Councilmember Joe Burns to say a lot of thank yous, including to most of you here today.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you all for being here. I am a council member now, but for 6+ years before that, I was on the Parks and Rec Commission, and we, with somebody I want to thank, Doreen Gonard, who just settled in this last couple of days, back from her trip. We were on that commission that really finally helped with staff and the great financing opportunity from COP to start this process. And the council previous to us actually signed the first dollar amount to be spent on this project in 2015. Obviously, the ball really got going about 2017 with motorcycles as soon as I started talking. So it's an honor to be here today. It's a great privilege for our council and most of all for the community of Sausalito. And the mayor did ask me to thank a few people. And so I worked on a list of people to thank. since about 8 o'clock this morning. But first, I do want to bring it back to first on my list because I thought of her right away, Doreen Gennard, who was on the Parks and Rec Commission with me back then, and I know that this was a labor of love for her and all the people at Galilee Harbor as well. Obviously, Paul Leffingwell and Jock Holman, thank you so much, friends of Dunphy Park. I mentioned how the commission was preceded by Friends of Dunphy Park having this vision long time ago and putting it on paper and starting this off in a great way. So thank you. Good job. Okay. Fabulous. And saved our community a lot of money. Jonathan Goldman, who is down in Arizona, and he sent me some words knowing that we were going to do this today. So I know you guys want to get out of here, but I just got to read this really quickly. Some stuff about the A's being great. A's won again. Oh, here it is. Adam deserves the credit. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to serve the city and to have made improvements that will benefit people and the environment long after I'm gone. And then a couple more things about the Oakland A's winning again last night. But so then I got to thank our city manager and all of his staff, all named here, but Adam Pulitzer for playing in this park, I'm sure, one day, and now filming the grand opening. So, Adam, we'll get back to you. The Federated Indians of Great Rancheria. We have a representative today. Obviously they have a big play in this area and an important voice in this park, and they were great and fair to work with, and we thank all their help in getting this done. The Sausalito Boating Club at Cass Ridley, the Sausalito Cruising Club, and Galilee Harbor for their being great neighbors and helping us shepherd this project along through their communities. The 40 to 50 volunteers on the day that we laid the oyster shells. Mike, remember that one? Lauren? And then there were 3 that did nothing and sat and talked. I want to thank them as well. The Park Recreation Commission, the previous council, like I mentioned, that started this, and then this council. We did it.
Yes.
Here. And then our city staff, and the Park Rec Commission that's currently sitting. The city staff, as I mentioned, with Adam and Yulia and Yulia Carter, our finance director, and Mary Wagner, our city attorney, all the hours spent on all of our parks in the last 4 years. This one in particularly, as the mayor stated, we had a lot of challenges, and it was that team who really helped us, along with our project manager, Lauren Lambertus, and his boss, Kevin McGowan, who took Jonathan's space. One person who was out here just about every day, whether he was pulling a weed or tilting a fence or doing nothing at all just to be out here, but he was out here every day, and his heart is in this park as much as anybody. My friend Mike Langford, thank you. Congratulations, Mike. Thank you very much for coming. So there was a lot of people that put their actual sweat into this grounds, and it started with some of our staff, obviously our staff, but some of the people who were working on this project. And I know we have Jacob here from RHAA. If I can hold this stuff from Jacob Millard. I saw Jacob out here a lot too. We talked a little bit. It's so fun to be out here with kids and not shovels. And thank you. We'll be done in just a moment.
You're right here.
Integra Construction for building the park. Thank you. BCDC, Audubon Society, Cal Recycle, National Fish and Wildlife, all for one helping our EIR, but helping us get this through. So I want to thank all the parties that were involved, and then finally to the citizens, the community, through the efforts of Measure F, to your patience while we went through the challenges that the mayor spoke of, to being out here today. This is our park now. It's going to be a great place for future holidays, post-COVID events, music, bocce, volleyball. It's all going to come back to Dunphy Park this next year, and we could not be happier or more thankful for this community for allowing us. So thank you all.
So that Jock Ullman wants to say a few words, and obviously, as Joe said, was really instrumental in bringing this park to life.
So I have to say that 20 years ago, there was a project that was proposed for the peninsula by Sausalito Marine, and we potentially had a complex of office and studios and high development and a much larger marina. And in reaction to that, we formed Friends of Dunphy Park, first to push back on that development, and then that evolved into first wanting to preserve this peninsula from development and combine that with a redesign of Dunphy Park. So I have to first give my friend and colleague Paul Leffingwell and his wife Ursula credit for guiding us at that point, because of their experience in working on other parks here in Marin County, that we had to do a very heavy community outreach to make sure that whatever was developed somehow had input from all aspects of the community. And I think that that really led to our success, because when you think about it, we had so many disparate interests here who were all focused on their particular interests, but you couldn't make a park that would satisfy all these interests without somehow or other getting the community together and organizing forums for people to express themselves. The other thing that hasn't been said is that this goes back 20 years when we had a different staff, a different city manager, and it was at that time that we got the cooperation from the Coastline Conservancy and other environmental groups to help us raise funds to be able to purchase the railroad right-of-way, which we did not own, and some property over here that we did not own. And so we have to remember that one of the first impetuses here for getting this park done was the part that isn't done yet, which is the passive area over here and the restoration of the habitat along the shoreline and in the water. So it's great that we've got the volleyball and the bocce ball and all of these active duties, but this park is not going to feel complete until we've done that part. And I believe that the City Council is going to have a very important session this week relative to acquiring more property and being able to have a more beautiful park. So I just want to emphasize that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jacques, and Madam Mayor, and my friend, fellow council member Joe Burns, and all of the staff, and all of you here today. Thank you for coming. The mayor asked me to close out these few remarks, and knowing who I am, she said, "Ray, be brief, please," which I will. She asked me also to just explain a little bit about how a major capital improvement project such as this is financed, and in particular, parks. Councilmember Burns mentioned that, referred to the previous council, and I had the honor of being on that previous council, and in particular, we realized that if we were going to actually get Dunphy Park done, we needed also to get all 4 of our major parks done. And so we set about figuring out how to get the core financing to do all of that. When I first ran for office in 2012, one of the major themes of that election was, why do we invest in our streets? Why do we invest in our sewers? What about our parks? Our parks, our big major parks, are all falling apart. And so when that council was seated, together with my friend in particular, Tom Theodoris, who was mayor when we first raised the core funds, we went about putting together a financing vehicle called Certificates of Participation. We took that to the voters of Sausalito to approve us, allowing us to be able to use funds from MLK. And the mayor, I wish I'd thought of it, the mayor is wearing our Yes on F badge. It was one of the more intense campaigns that I've ever participated in. But eventually, a large majority of the residents of Sausalito voted to actually improve our parks. Not just for our kids, not just for our families, but as it became very clear, for all members of the community, including our age-friendly group, who was big supporters, because as they pointed out to the city council, to the rest of the residents, time and time again, parks are for everyone. You can't do a major capital project until you start putting together a fabric of funding. Any major capital project up and down California, you need to bundle together sources of funds to be able to do it. And we're going to face the same thing up and down our coastline here, up and down our internal coastline here, because in order to get the project completed, you need to pull together grants. We'd like to thank in particular, I think Cal Recycle put a major amount of money to get this project done, together with funds from the, I always pronounce this wrong, Busan. And pulling that together, the mayor mentioned, well, wait a minute, it's only a park, bit of grass, tidy it up a bit. Why does it take so much money? Well, as Councilmember Burns and the mayor have said, a lot of the money went into stuff you can't see. All of the filtration and drainage systems that exist to protect our bay from the use of this waterfront park. So let me end by saying that what was started 20 years ago or more by Jacques and others has finally reached this point. And as with everything I've understood in my career in the past, and certainly through local government, is everything is a relay race. You're not out there to win just on your own, to get to the finish line on your own. At every point, you're going to be passing the baton so that collectively the project can get completed. As most of you know, I'm retiring from the city council. I won't be running in November. And so it's a particular pleasure for me to be able to see the opening of this park before I retire. So thank you to everybody. Thank you to everybody that was on that relay race. And let's hope that we will in the future enjoy the use of this park. And hopefully next July 4th, I don't know whether we'll still be wearing masks. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But we'll hopefully have a great July 4th celebration next year. So thank you all very much.